real conversations, real solutions, real success.
Success is my religion.
I know growing up, it wasn't a lot of knowledge passed. It was more like gossip, and that's kind of terrible. It's really terrible. But you go ahead and set everything up, man.
Uh,
We can we can have at it. Karate chop this right down the middle.
yeah, and I didn't have anything, so like we wasn't. Nobody was really passing down information like that.
No.
I was able to. Um, I was able to use the information that I was getting, even though it wasn't direct to me.
Well, the information I got from the OGs was not always profitable, but it helped me not be a part of some things like spidey senses. And then you'd be like, ooh, I don't know if I like that. Let me take a break.
Right.
And then you take a break and then you'd be like, oh. Sometimes it's good. Sometimes I think that it just depends your demeanor on how you want to perceive things, because a lot of people you'll pull them to the side, or be like, hey, I know she was doing this, I think you should be doing this. A lot of people don't take direction, or not even direction, suggestions without some type of affiliate to, oh, well, he's hating on me, or he's trying to not see me shine, or something like that. Why is he trying to hold me down? And I don't understand that mentality, but I do understand that mentality because of the generations and the degenerations of a lot of things. Like I was telling you at the job, it's not grandmas anymore and grandpas. It's barely even uncles. I mean, you.
It's somebody, we getting our information from somebody that is our same age, almost, or a little bit older than us.
And they trying to have fun too. So you at the club with your mom. I know several women that go to the club with their mom. I think it's cool.
Or you think it's cool?
I think it's cool to a certain aspect. And you're not supposed to be trying to, little Susan is, say Susan, but little Susan is, dancing up on somebody. It's not your key to come over there and just, let me show you what I got. That's little Susan's time.
Little Susan.
You gotta let people shine. And also, you have to let people sometimes just learn.
Yeah, but there's so much information out there. That's what we were saying earlier.
Yeah, it is information, but a lot of people don't know how to grasp it. A lot of people, if it's brought to them, you have to bring it to them in a certain way. It's almost like you're threatening, and that's retarded. That.
Yeah, we'll bleep that out.
No, we don't use that word. But it's not very intelligent.
Yeah, it's an ignorant way of going about.
Yeah.
And I think one of the reasons is that we're see it. Like, I need to see you be it before I can learn from you. But you can't be in your process, and I learn from you in your process. Like, they barely even listening to teachers. You see what I'm saying? Like, so they look at the teachers like, I can go make more money than you standing on the corner or doing whatever. Or I'm going to just go be a Instagram star or YouTube star or whatever.
Lots of easy ways out now. Lots of easy ways out.
But are they tangible. Like, can you really do that?
Well, I mean,
it still takes work.
It does take work. Everything that you do in life takes work and some sort of effort. Nothing is ever given to you or handed to you. It may fall in your lap, but you gotta be in that position for it to fall. You gotta be sitting in the right chair.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, it's just give it to me. They don't want to know about the process, how you got up on the Great Wall of China. They just want to know, can I Uber there?
What's the quickest way I can go?
Can I rent a helicopter and just meet you up there?
And that's another thing that I be seeing. Like, I'm like, dude, success is still a process, and no matter what you do, no matter what field you in, no matter, it's still a process. You still have to put in a certain amount of work to get a certain amount of return back.
Yeah.
And like we starting this podcast, like I started a long time ago. I just couldn't do it by myself. Yeah, I already knew that.
We don't want you to do it by yourself.
But it's a process. I know I go by the 10,000 hour rule, not to a T, but I know that it's gonna take some time to get where you wanna be, and working towards it all the time. So if we not working towards anything, we gonna be in the same spot at the same 10 years from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
How you doing? You been here long? I just got here. All right. It's stuff like that. And then if you already there and then somebody pulls up and be like, hey, you want to tell me how you got here? Oh no. Now, us, we can be forthcoming with information. These younger people, it's top secret.
What they call them, YNs.
Yeah, YNs. That's crazy.
Everybody use that term too now.
I almost caught myself that the other day. I had a moment, and then I realized how old I was. And I said, "Ooh,
you ain't young no more.
Can't do that.
You ain't young no more, my man."
Those altercations afterwards are not the bee's knees.
Not the bee's knees.
A very old soul in a young person's body, as mine would say. I am very observant, and that's what it takes. For most times is observance.
Yeah,
we gotta be able to soak it in. You want to be able to soak it in and try and understand it. And I'm learning that, as long as you ask questions, there's no dumb questions or stupid questions, especially if you're trying to learn something or grasp something. It's just how you interact. Not even interact. I'm using the wrong word. But it's how you interpret things.
Yeah, how you process the information.
Because we can go watch the same movie and get two different messages. It's because we're two different individuals. Does it make sense? No. Does it happen? Yes. Definitely happens. Look at you. You got the world on your screen. You're doing good.
So I have this program.
Mm-hmm. I think that almost everybody, because I went to look at some apartments last year, and almost everybody that redid their stuff had that backsplash. It's a nice backsplash too. You can bounce all kinds of colors off of it.
So this is kind of like the setup that I want to have. Hold on.
Oh, I can hold that if you want.
Yeah,
you can do that, and I'll just hold this. You're supposed to hold it like this?
Yeah, however you want to hold it. For right now.
Dang, I need a haircut.
But
I'm growing out in the wintertime.
Yeah.
No one's going to see my hair. I'm wearing a hat.
But this is kind of like the setup that we can do. I can do some other things, make it smaller, put a video in the middle. Like I can take what's that website? Put it over here. This is why I was saying like we can view the video as we are recording. And it'll record on there. It'll record our, like we can pause it, say what we need to say, you know.
This is gonna be so fun. I need some entertainment like this. I need to break out from. Oh yeah, you're connected. I need to, evolve as a person, and I think this will help me evolve as a person. Maybe if the right people watch this, they might understand how I think sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, that's what he means. Like
and you can explain it.
I'd be like, I'll write a book with all my little things. Like, that's not on my schedule. Like, that means no.
That means
I'm not doing this. That's not. I don't see it in foreseeable future that I'm gonna participate in that, and that's cool. Everybody has a little quirks. Like, me and my uncle, we, before we leave each other, like, all the way up. Like, yeah, I'm all the way up. Like, all right, cool. So, I just say that to everybody. Sometimes I'll put in the text message.
Yeah, you say that to me all the time.
Yeah, you got to be all the way up. Because we all trying to get to that top of the mountain. And if you're not, you might freeze on the side. I'm going to keep moving. I have a parka on.
I have a parka on.
And a hat and scarf. You can't see me. I don't want to get frostbite.
I don't want to get frostbite. What are you talking about?
Being on the mountain. You gotta be on the mountain sometimes. You gotta climb it. There's little mountains, there's big mountains. It's obstacles of how you are successful and the routes that you take to achieve that success. Sometimes it's good. I mean, like, you got your extra people. We'll call them extra people.
Extra people. What is extra people?
They give you a product that's not so legal, and then you see them riding off in a luxury car, and you are maybe like in a regular car. It's all the same. You're all going the same place. One person may just have a different view of getting there faster.
Right.
And I think that a lot of people are just, going through life and be like, oh, like maybe their role model, say your parents, they might go through some things and then you grow up. And obviously, as the years go by, technology gets better. So it's easier. Like, I got a friend, and I told him one day, I said, if I was in your era, and with my knowledge, I have a ball.
I'll say the same thing. I'll be like, y'all got so much opportunity.
You just take a picture and put it on the app, and somebody is willing to take a risk and probably give you some that night if you want it. But like I said, me growing up, house phones, like wall phones, not cell phones. I got a first cell phone when I was very, very young. I was still working at McDonald's, and it was a Sprint phone. It was prepaid. Texting, I see people just like, damn. I don't even type that fast on the computer. You are just burning through it.
Burning through it.
I'll talk on my phone and hopefully it gets my voice right. You pipe down out there.
Yeah. So.
Take that time.
So I'm gonna play with this, and once we come up with the segments, we can have. I think it's really gonna be a cool setup.
It's a wonderful setup.
If we switch it around a little bit.
I feel like this is a nice broadcast.
You like that?
Yeah.
Already?
I love it already. This is something that I wanna bloom and grow. You're never too old to grow.
Right.
So even though I'm 40, am I 43? I'm 43. Okay.
I'll be 41 Tuesday.
There you go. Look at that. Fresh after Super Bowl.
Yep. This dude is a Raiders fan too.
Yeah. Let's get that logo, that commitment to excellence logo. Even though we're not excellent right now.
You gotta show it in that one because that one recorded.
We got it.
Commitment to excellence.
We gotta be committed to excellence, and you can. That's just not for Raider fans. That's for everybody. If you really want to be excellent and be committed to it, halfway through it, whatever you feel desire, then you should do it. You can be a Chiefs fan.
Are we speaking too big, too broadly? Because we like success, and success is subjective, depending on who you are and where you come from.
Mm-hmm.
So we have to. I was talking to one of my friends today. I was like, we have to break success down and understand where it came from. Yeah, you don't need to do that. We gotta break success down and figure out where it actually stems from. Is our view of success from people that we actually know? Is it reality or is it delusional? Delusional is the world's view of success.
Mm-hmm.
Like success is money, but I think we need to get away from that world view and come to a reality view. Yes, you can have money, but we looking for you to be a whole person. We want you to fulfill your fullest potential, reach your fullest potential. And if we're not working towards that, then anybody with money is gonna be deficient at something.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
I mean, you got a lot of people in I'll say the industry that are under scrutiny right now that has a lot of money, had a lot of success in their genre, and were monsters behind doors. Like almost every time I wake up, there's a new Diddy story about how he did this and made somebody feel some way. Now I question his whole essence.
The whole career?
Just everything. Because, he came out and he was Puff. And then something happened. Like every time something happened, he changed his name. So he was Puff.
He was reinventing himself.
Yeah. No, he was Puff Daddy. He was a daddy to somebody. Puff.
Diddy.
Then he was Puff.
Oh.
Then he was Puffy. Then he was Diddy, which went horribly for him. Because now he's the diddler for some reason.
Was Diddy the last one or
no?
Love
got you in jail. But you know what? He's successful. Now, had that happened to a regular person, like somebody that me and you would know, obviously those accusations are going to be surprised. I'm going to be surprised. Like, wow, I didn't know you had it in you. I might chuckle about it, but I'm like, really? I did not see this coming.
Right.
And there's a lot of things that happen in life, especially right now, that you're not going to see coming. You have people that have been elected to be in charge that are living in times where they were young, but they're not young anymore. You know where I'm going with this. Um, and then you have people that are appointed and are in charge, and their sole goal is to tear down anything they didn't agree with. And that's very sad. Very, very sad. And the generations after us right now, because right now, what are we in?
Z.
Super beta Z?
Gen Z.
I'm confused. I
don't know what
I was
they
born
are.
in '81, so I'm an '81 baby. Don't put me on a label like that. I don't know what it is.
But like most of the stuff is distraction because when we talk about the world, it's your world. You can only affect people only around you can affect you. Um, when we talk about the world in general as a bigger whole, um, that stuff is not. It's a distraction because we can only control what we can control.
That is. That's
So
very true.
so the stuff that we can control is our world. So whatever happens after that, we have to see is it beneficial for me to be looking at all these fights online? Is it beneficial for me? It's beneficial to be aware of it, but if it causes you to emotionally uh, attach and be steered and make emotional decisions based off of the world.
It's a lot of that going around right now.
Right. So, but
I feel this way.
But there's a next step that I can take that's not going to take years off of my life. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like because the distraction can distract you for. So say you a high school graduate or about to graduate high school in May. And if I don't do anything because I'm scared of what the world is already doing as a whole, and with it going up and down economy wise, you're making fear based decisions, and that's going to be a detriment to your future success because you now wasting the youngest years of your life because of a fear based decision. So this is what I need the young people to do is go. I need you to pick a subject, go to school. You got to get formal education from somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to get formal education. You got to get on the job education and experience and different things like that. Because I work in the gig economy.
Yeah.
It is a waste of time unless you have a purpose for it. Like it's going to waste a lot of your time. That's why we started this podcast. I was wasting time doing Uber.
We don't like wasting time.
No, we 40 years old. Like what? We ain't got much time.
We gonna get right to it.
We ain't got much time.
You other people can dilly dally. You got time to dilly dally. Now don't get us wrong. I mean, you young. There's gonna be some things that you're not gonna particularly understand or comprehend because I'm learning stuff new every day, and I'm 43 years old. I'm learning stuff from young people. I'm learning stuff from still older people because, as long as I have older people in my life, that's who I'm going to lean towards because some way, somehow, they may have already experienced something I'm experiencing right now, just in a different mode.
Yeah, we in an apartment. It don't matter. We hear dogs barking. It sounds like we in New York or something.
I'm on the third floor. I be hearing people close the door at the bar. I'm like, oh, that sounds bad. But it's life. You gotta adapt to your surroundings. Obviously, there's a lot of things that I grew up around that generations behind me didn't because of what we did, for me, it was, gang banging and drugs and pimps and all kinds of stuff. And now there's that stuff exists, but it's not something that you see that you're gonna grow to a lure of it because it's a different era. The pimps and the gang members and the drug dealers, they're your Instagram feeds, they're your Facebook, they're whatever social media that takes up your time that you scroll, and either you can learn something from it or you can be entertained from it.
And there's nothing wrong with entertainment, but like when it consumes you, like a lot of people get consumed in it.
Yeah, you're not supposed to, don't try it at home because you might mess up. It's not something that you want to try and repeat. But it's different eras. I respect the different eras, and it's good to learn. Now, I grew up hearing a statement that you can't teach old dogs new tricks. Well, if you don't learn new tricks, then you end up in a pound. So, learn some new tricks, kids.
Yeah, I mean, like, yeah, I look at reels.
Yeah.
We probably look at reels on this this podcast. Yeah.
Some people I see, they pop in my reels, and I scroll and I say, oh, that's pretty neat. And then I see them some more. And it's AI in your phone. Like, whatever you search for, Google for, it's going to pop up in your feeds. And I don't feel like I'm the only person that feels that way. I'm not the only person that sees the process. If you are a person that wants to be a chef and you constantly look up food is going to be in your reels.
You are the algorithm.
Yeah.
So now they are based off of our likes and dislikes or whatever.
Yeah.
Even if you dislike something and you click on it or pass through it and you sit there long enough, it's gonna pop up again to see if you actually like it. And then we got to get into the information that you receive. So the thing that keeps you on track is understanding your goal and what you need to do to get to that goal. So, and that goal has to be compelling. That goal has to be, it has to be precise, clear, real detailed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, my ultimate goal is to fund and run a life prep program for disadvantaged student athletes. How clear is that? You know what I mean? I done already worked out what the whole plan is for what that is. So when I talked to somebody today, I was like, the Chiefs said it on the podium when they won their last Super Bowl that they wanted a 3-peat.
Yeah, we'll be back next year. That's what happened.
Nah, they didn't say we will be back next year. We said we want the 3-peat. They stood on the podium and said that. So, but what goes into it after that? You still have to practice. You still have to play the games. You still have to win the games. You still have to put yourself in position to get to that point with the opportunity. We ain't even got to the opportunity yet. But what they said came to fruition because of the work that they put in after they said that thought. So we got to get to the place where the thought is our own thought, mm-hmm. and not the world's thought. And then we gotta look at it and dissect it, and then put ourselves in position to get that. So I'm working in the schools because my goal, fund and run a life prep program for disadvantaged student athletes. So I have to understand that population to an extent. I have to understand them so well that I can predict what you're gonna need before you even need it.
Yeah.
Even though I went through my own stuff as a disadvantaged student athlete, like I have to understand what y'all going through now, what the process is, and that's just one avenue of my goal setting. So, how do I get to that point? Is what I said. Once I figured out that was my goal, how do I get to that point? I was like, I can be a motivational speaker. I can be a life coach. I can be an author. What does that look like? Yeah. And then this is all,
check it off.
This is all reverse engineering. I started with the goal. The Chiefs started with the goal. Just this 1 year, you can see it.
Yeah.
I started with the goal, and then I worked my way back to where I am now. And then, am I putting in the work necessary to move on to the next step? Because we're gonna pivot the whole way, but it ain't a straight line. But it ain't never a straight line. But we on that trajectory. If you never on that trajectory, then what are we doing? We getting lost in all of the societal distractions. That's probably what this episode should be.
Not being all the way up, which is a mindset.
You're going to have to explain the mindset later on.
I'm going to explain it to you, because there's a lot of things in life that you can pivot on, as Mr. Taylor said. I like this. See, Mr. Taylor.
That's what my students call me.
Already success, but it's all about your mindset and how you want to agree to disagree. And there's going to be some disagreements in life, in your goals. There's going to be distractions, obviously. I think that a lot of children these days don't necessarily have the mentality that we grew up as. You know, like when you was in class, and you know, you did roll call and stuff. You could say president or whatever the case may be. Little query things like that. I don't think that exists now. I don't think there's a lot of hope. But as you see, children, you can be in public office and be a felon. I'm gonna put that out there, because when I was growing up,
you had to be squeaky clean.
Squeaky, I mean, with bleach. And if somebody pulled some in your past, and that was you couldn't deny it.
Especially if you wasn't a favorite. Like Jesse Jackson, he tried to apply
so many times.
Yeah, so many times to go for president, and he something came up in his past that he was like, I gotta bow out, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's this. If you don't get anything else from this podcast, is just live your life the best that you can, because it's your life. So if and when you perish, you don't want to have a lot of regret. You don't want to have like I'll be honest, I have a lot of regret. Sometimes I just don't take the risk because I don't think the reward is greater. You know, and that's not very smart. Whatever the reward is, hold your risk. You can't do it. Okay, so here's an example. You're on a trip. You pass a gas station. You pass that gas station 2 miles back. You gotta use the restroom. What are your options? Are you gonna try and hold it? Now, if you're young, you probably hold it. If you're older, you might have some problems. I'm not at that stage, if you think about that. But it's all about options, and it's all about timing and seizing the moment. And I know in my life, I need to seize more moments that present themselves, because they may not.
They might not come back around.
They might not come back around, but you can create them. See, that's what's good about this society now. You can create a lot of opportunity, And if you fail, you're not really failing because if it's broadcast, no one can ever take away that you were the first one to try.
Right.
You're not supposed to try everything. But certain things, in order for you to get success, like I worked at McDonald's when I was 15, so I knew about Ray Crockett and how he was a janitor or something, and then he decided that he wanted to be more, and he worked hard. Obviously, back in the day, you had to work harder than you do now. And then he created McDonald's and made thousands, maybe millions, I don't know, money back then. So I'm going to do more of that. And this is a plateau for me because I'm a behind the scenes person. I don't need the recognition for success as long as I'm successful. And this will help me be in the forefront, and you can have a face with the name, I guess.
Because, I mean, you ultimately want to help the young people.
Yeah.
You got young people in your life. I got young people in my life.
I got a young person. They're going to get married later on this year. Shout out to my little cousin, my Aladdin. That nectar of family, just that part right there, is generations of guidance. Like you have my aunt, and then you have my cousin who was their mom, and then the people around. When I say that it's not the same, it's not the same. You are 25, your uncle's 30. It's not the same.
Yeah.
It's not a whole lot. Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z, not the same. Different eras, but it's in the same. So within the 5-year period, things can change just like that. But the traditions that I grew up with, that I still hold dear, even though some of them doesn't exist anymore. That's just how I want to live my life. So it's all about deciding how you want to live your life. This young man is focused on changing young people's lives for the better, simply because he does not want people to go through the things, trials and tribulations that he went through. If he can make something easier for you to where you don't have to climb a 12-foot ladder, you can get a stepdaddy or whatever and be on the roof. Bam! But you gotta listen. Because, even though we're telling you this, these are opinions, and it's game, but you may not take it as game. You may take it as, whatever young people take it as now. I don't know. McDonald's was popular when I was little. It's still popular. So some things just don't die. They just increase.
And the stuff the hardest thing for me in telling young people the information they need to know is that, like, I already see the steps in front of them, right? Mm-hmm. When I talk to young people, I'm already analyzing what steps they have in front of them, what obstacles they're going to face, what obstacles they might face. I'm already doing that in my head. So the struggle part with me is that I know I'm not going to... You're not going to receive, the young person's not going to receive the results, see the results from what I say for a few years, maybe a whole lifetime later. So I was in this little space that I was like, should I keep on going and telling what I know? Because I just stumbled upon this philosophy that I created out of almost thin air. You know what I mean? And what are the things that am I going to be comfortable with people not understanding it until after my death?
See, that's very deep. because
It's super deep.
because I, it's deep because like your aunts and uncles, your mom, your dad, grandma, grandpa, people that are older than you, um, you don't understand what they could have been talking about or what they was trying to perceive in your head. Now, there's good families and there's bad families. Some people get caught up in the moment. But for me, the lessons I've learned is that I cherish the moments that I have with people that I like and love. I just like love. I don't. I cherish even the people that I tolerate because you can learn from them as well. And I don't think that that's being taught. Um, Certain things you have to be patient with in order for you to come out successful. Everything takes time. Nothing is overnight unless you hit the lottery. You got to play a lottery. So even that costs you something to get something. And
An investment.
that's what life is all about. Life is about investing something and getting something out of it. Now, not every investment that you invest in is going to turn a gold coin. Could turn up some pennies, nickels, dimes,
Or nothing for years.
or nothing for
Years. But you have to put in that investment. Like, I would never be at this spot to be able to have this information, to be able to break it down for you incrementally into the simplest form if I didn't go through all of this stuff, if I didn't put myself through the ringer, if I didn't go to college and and do everything.
Trials and tribulations.
Student, athlete, 4-year university as certified nonprofit professionals, work, study, resident assistant, graduate assistant, master's degree, bachelor's degree, all of that stuff. Like, and then to get out in the middle of the Great Recession and not being able to to use all of that stuff and have to start over being broke, sleeping on my cousin and my mom's floor on a pull-out bed that I pulled out from the garage.
Yeah.
That's the stuff that I went through for years.
For years. Success.
And it's 22 years later. Since I graduated high school, like all of that stuff went from after I graduated high school to up to now, and like that's a long time with no rewards. Like I'm still struggling. No nothing.
No,
you know what I'm
nothing.
saying?
You
Just friends that
going through it and just you gotta
pushing
keep
along.
pushing.
But those are experiences. If I would have never had those experiences, I would never be able to create something like this or have
shaped you to where you want to be.
Yeah.
So when you incur,
difficulties,
detours, whatever is hip in life right now. This man should influence you. I didn't go to college. I couldn't wait to get out of high school because it was free, and I was like, why am I gonna pay if I'm gonna fail? It never made sense to me. I'm still gonna have to pay you even if I flunk out. No, sir. We cut that cost. But I got a job, did some things. I'm living life. I've made some mistakes, obviously, but for the most part, you live and you learn. Me, I'm still trying to figure out this world just like you are at my 43 years of age. I've been at my job forever.
Yeah, 20 years at the VW.
Yeah, I've been there. I've been a porter.
Oh man,
I've been
going out.
Oh, that's all right. I'm light skinned. We light skinned. We'll shine
People
together.
be saying I'm light skinned. I was like, I ain't that. Like, you light skinned. My mama light skinned.
You won't be put in that category.
I mean, I'm just
you
saying,
get
like.
sunburned, you be fine. Some of us get sunburned.
Oh,
stay
when
out
I went
the
to
sun.
Mexico, boy, them
Oh yeah.
them shoulders got burned. I thought I was gonna have permanent shoulder damage. Like, it almost went to the bone.
You was out there for a long time. I too went to Mexico, and I didn't even hang out on the beach until like the last day. I had a wife beater on. I was out there
Burn the
chilling.
mess out of your shoulder.
I got to that shower in the hotel, and I got in the mirror, took my wife beater off, and said, "Oh, my favorite color is red." So I know
But
you guys.
he's a Raiders fan.
But I'm a Raiders fan because you need. I was telling somebody else this the other day. You need people like me. You need villains, just like heroes. If heroes don't exist without villains. I'm not saying I'm a villain per se. What I'm saying is that I like the Raiders, and I know that it probably makes a lot of people upset. And I'm not
Because
doing
your
it
favorite color is red.
I'm not doing it on purpose.
Yeah.
But I had to be different.
Yeah.
I grew up a Raiders. I grew up a Chiefs fan. Let me get that right. I came to Kansas City in '85, I think, with my mom, my dad, my sister, and yes, Marty Schottenheimer,
Christian Okoye.
Chris, the Nigerian Nightmare, all that. Barry Word, Dan Saliamua. I can name a whole lot of stuff that most Chiefs fans claim they don't know a lot about football. I know about football. I'll break your team down. And I'm a Raiders fan. I pay attention to everything because if I don't, it's going to go over my head. You can't have that. But
he did it because his everybody in his family was Chiefs fans, and he wanted to be the villain and go against.
I did want to be the villain, but here's the kicker of how I became a Raiders fan, and this is gonna really surprise you. Rich Gannon was a quarterback for the Chiefs.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it was Gerback. It was a San Francisco quarterback that had a good game or two the season before. And the Chiefs used to sign anybody and everybody from San Francisco.
Position.
From San Francisco. You had Joe Montana. We had AstroTurf. Went to grass. Elvis Gerback. A lot of people don't know who that is. Steve Bono. All Niners.
Were they all? I didn't
all
know
Niners. That. So, and then, God rest my grandma's soul, Dave Craig, Seahawk.
Yeah.
Me and my grandma.
What was it? The offense they was running? The West Coast offense.
The West Coast. It was very popular.
They was trying to get the West Coast offense to Kansas City. To the Midwest.
It worked for a little bit, but
Rich Gannon was the Chiefs quarterback. He did good. I liked him.
He did real good
as the Chiefs quarterback.
And it came to the playoffs, and of course,
we lost in the first round. Probably.
The hero came back from his injury, started right out. So over that offseason, the Chiefs typically with I forgot his name. Who was the owner before? Not the owner, but
Clark
the president.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah. Well, he didn't ever want to sign people that actually helped the team. He would let them go.
Peterson.
Carl Peterson, matter of fact. Because I watched Neil Smith go to Denver, win Super Bowls, and come back to Kansas City and retire. Derek Thomas got arrested, so he didn't have to worry about that. But a lot of people left Kansas City, found success, and a lot of those people now are here living amongst us. You probably don't know because you're not that big of a fan. See, I don't do bandwagon stuff. I don't do trends at all. So you won't catch me doing the latest TikTok dance or saying oh God, or whatever young people say, YN stuff. Because I'm an old end.
Because Rich Gannon went to the Raiders. He
went to
super
the Super Bowl.
No, he went to the Super Bowl.
He went to the Super Bowl. I'm gonna tell you this whole story. So,
all right, hang on. When was the Tuck rule? Was that before the Super Bowl? That's an AFC championship.
That's an AFC championship.
But they went to the Super Bowl though.
They went to the Super Bowl before that.
Okay.
Because when did the Tuck rule? 2003?
I don't know. Yeah.
I think 2001 we went. Funny story. Had Rich Gannon. John Gruden was the coach. Very, very wonderful coach. Was very surprised about his antics in life. We'll get off that subject. The Raiders had a squad. We didn't always used to lose terribly and badly. We used to actually be good, and we're heading that way again. But obviously, we're chasing the Chiefs, who I watched over the years build to what they have, because you have to build things in order to get success, and their success started with them drafting Patrick Mahomes.
Hiring Andy Reid. Andy Reid was
hiring Andy Reid. You have to have pieces to the puzzle already there in order to complete the puzzle, and those two will stand out in history. I mean, you'll have your Chris Joneses, you'll have a lot of people that contribute, but those people will stand out because they were the most influential, and they weren't trying to play the shadows. As I explained to you earlier, I like to be in the background and make things happen. I don't really need the acknowledgement, but this is a kind of a
out of your comfort zone.
Out of my comfort zone.
Because I didn't think you was gonna want to be on camera. I was like, yeah, you don't have to be on camera.
Yeah, I'll be on camera. That's fine. I'm pretty handsome. So. It's not like I'm gonna break your iPhone. So.
I might.
I don't have time to pay for a phone with a camera. But yeah, it's all about success. And that summer I converted to being a Raiders fan, and it did not make my family happy at all.
His marriage.
They were super. They were big mad. And, we all have fun now. And there's other people in our family that choose to like other teams besides the Raiders, like the Cowboys. Don't know why. They were shining in '95. That's 2005, 2025.
But his favorite color is red.
My favorite color is red.
But he will always wear some.
Only during the season. You won't see me with it in the summertime. me with a beanie sweating because I want to be committed to excellence.
Yeah.
I have hats for that. Anyway.
Yeah, we're gonna have to end this podcast because I think this is gonna be good.
No, we don't have to end it.
Oh, we gonna have to end it. All right.
No, it's fine.
Because he said, I want to keep going. I got you.
No, it's fine. So this is what you get out of this podcast is how you take it. Obviously, as we stated before, this is just our opinions. It's free game. Some stuff we've experienced and share with you, so you don't have to experience it quite to the definition of us experiencing it. Because there's a lot of things that I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. And then there is some. But anyway. So.
Yeah, we gotta. And we just want to get information out. Like, our thoughts. Because we don't have a lot of regular black men talking about success like this. I mean, there's accomplished a whole bunch of accomplished ones that I see online, but
They're not gonna give you the formula. You're like this, I'm this.
yeah,
How'd you get to be that? No, you don't need to know that. I'm this now. I'm the finished product.
right. The
work.
finished product work. Yeah, I'm looking at it. I'm like, so what about that kid that is that grew up without a father, not in the best neighborhood, got all this stuff around them that is negative. Yeah, how does that person get to the next step? Like, and there's only a few routes after high school that you can go. There's only like 5 routes that you can go.
Armed forces.
Military.
Other stuff.
Straight into the workforce.
Straight into work. That's where I went. I was like, nope.
College. 4-year college, 2-year college. I forgot what the 5th. I always forget the 5th one.
Online college. Now you can go to college online. Matter of fact, I used to drive people to their jobs. I met a person that went to DeVry, and he was trying to convince me to go to college, and I told him that I want to go to college for one specific thing. I don't want to have to go to knit basking college, do extra classes for stuff that I don't care about.
You sound like a lot of my students.
And I was like that in school. So I don't know how the formula is right now, but when I was growing up in high school, it was, A day and B day. And for some reason, all the classes that I liked, that I excelled in, was on B day. So, and maybe had a class on A day. But most of the A days were skipped. And I figured out a way to entertain myself that I will not divulge because you don't need to know about it. But it's choices like that. Now, did that affect me? Yes, it did. Because you do that freshman, sophomore, junior, and then all of a sudden you're a senior.
And it's hard to catch back up.
You gotta catch back up, or guess what? You're repeating. Then all the people that you were picking on, or whatever the case may be, you make friends, younger than you, and they're like, "Hey, what are you still doing? Are you supposed to graduate?" That's embarrassing. There's been many assemblies I went to. I went to Central High, Central Middle, but Central High really opened my eyes up because, and this is gonna be funny, but the year before I started in Central High, there was a shooting in front of the school over starter jackets. Now, you can Google starter jackets. Starter jackets was very, very popular at my age, 16, 17, 18. Matter of fact, they killed over starter jackets and Jordans that you wear now that are like 110% way more than they did when they first came out. Don't argue with me. But you see how things evolve, and then you got your retros out that you guys call them retros or new colors. They're new colors because they wasn't available the first time around.
The new colorways, that's what they call.
Yeah. So see how things evolve. If you're around long enough to see it come back around again. This man has Jordans. I have Jordans. I just started getting some Air Jordan 1s. And I'm an air bubble guy. I like air bubbles. They make me feel comfortable and springy. But I really like them. They just don't have colorways. But as I stated before, I don't do trends or stuff like that. So
yeah, I don't like trends either.
Because I know they're going to go away. They're going to go away, and then you're stuck with useless information that doesn't exist anymore. And I just don't want that. I don't want that for me. I have enough stuff going on in my brain. But I don't want that for you. But I know that young people will adapt and be resilient because that's what life has brought you. That's what technology has brought you. Information has brought you. But you have to know that that information has trickled down from somebody above.
Yeah, I had a conversation with a student, and I was like, "You don't want to learn about history?" She was like, "Oh, I don't need to learn about history. Why do I need to learn about that?" And I was like, "You probably should, because some of the stuff that is happening now is similar to the stuff that happened in the civil rights movement. You know what I mean?" And this was a Hispanic young lady, and I was like, and she's like taking off school to go to protests and stuff like that, and I'm like,
Lord
you
have
really
mercy.
gotta understand
can't just-
history.
You can't be doing things just be doing it.
Well, she's doing it because there's a passion,
Yeah.
but then like you got to understand where it comes from too. So I tell them all the time, my Hispanic students, I'm like, the civil rights was for everybody. The things that you have now and the advantages you have now, you would have never had that if the civil rights movement wouldn't have been successful.
It wouldn't have been successful. And right now, I know this is probably going to be unpopular, but that's just what I see, because I've just seen it again. I'm starting to see it again. So
Yeah.
I stated earlier that some people get into positions to just tear down what they don't like, and I think that's what's happening right now with our leadership in Washington. A lot of strange coincidental things have been happening that probably didn't happen ever because it's technology. So
And I think it's any ism. We talking about racism this time, but it is what I analyzed it to be is a distraction from reaching your fullest potential. If like I think I'm gonna do a series about, I got a book down there called The Black First, 1,000 Black First, and I think I'm gonna do like
that'd be nice.
just
Pick
go through all of
somebody.
the here they
you
are.
go.
But if you look at it, it's our adversity. No, it's our adversity that caused most of the people to become great at what they do, and not even just great, but like to just overcome. They become fearless. They become powerful in their own right, in their own world, to be able to change their world and get the opportunities that come to them, which makes you even stronger when you get to that point where you have an opportunity. You're able to really take off in that position or whatever. But and there might be discrimination, there might be all of this other stuff, but you are the best person for that job.
It's gonna be
So
adversity.
is what?
It's gonna be adversity,
Yeah, and that's the key to ultimate success, is the adversity.
Yeah.
So if we was born in adversity, the world is giving us adversity. You was born to be successful if you was born in adversity, but it's the overcoming of that adversity that's going to ultimately get you to be successful. And but we stop at that obstacle, or the I didn't have or we make it as an excuse,
or a crutch.
Yeah. Our whole life, and we never get over that crutch.
Yeah, I didn't have this.
I didn't have this, or I didn't do this, or nobody told me, or this and that. It doesn't matter. Once you know, like I have students telling me like they're not teaching me how to do my taxes or things that are going to be useful in life. But I was like, we have so much information now that once you realize that you don't have that knowledge, it's on you to go seek that knowledge and go get it. Yeah.
Everything is at you guys' fingertips. It's like I said in the beginning. Pick up this phone, pick up a tablet, computer, Google it, all the information's right there. We had to go to libraries.
The Dewey Decimal System.
we had to go to the library. You had to have a card to get into the library to get information. And if you didn't return the information at a certain time, you'd be penalized for it. Or you just would not return it and never go back to the library. Don't do that, kids. Anyway.
Yeah, the library card changed my life. I had the idea for work hard, and like I felt like I was working hard, but like I wasn't getting nowhere. And I was like, these motivational speakers they talking about books and reading books. Maybe I should start reading the books that these speakers are talking about. So I didn't even want to read a book. And this was this was about 7 years after my master's degree. After I graduated, I didn't want to read no other books. I was like, I got it. But I was like, these dudes is talking about these books. Let me go get this book. So I got a library card from right up the street. I checked out a book. I didn't even read it. I read it, but like they had the online books.
Mm-hmm.
So I never went back to the library. I returned that book. I got the book on my phone. I'm up here reading before I fall asleep. I'm listening to audio books. This is 2013 is when I started that.
Yeah.
And I done read like 300 books on success and books multiple times. So this just having a library card, which is free.
2013. You hear that, guys? This man has been putting in work since 2013. You calculate all that.
And that's just the reading part. Like I had already put in the work, like manual labor type, going to college and doing all those things. And one of the specific points that I want to get across, this is why I need the back and forth, is because this specific thing that I want to, whatever route you take, maximize that time. So I don't care if you go to work, but let's go to work with a purpose, and let's save and have a big bank account so that we can make some moves in the world, right? If you're going to go to college, let's go to college. Let's make the investment for a longer term in your education or your knowledge. Mm-hmm. We're gonna advance your knowledge base, but that knowledge base is in a structured environment. That's what I think we'll get confused, that yes, colleges want money. Yes, it's an interaction, a transaction of funds or whatever. But you have to put in that investment. A lot of people are investing in young people to go to college. Mm-hmm. You might have to invest in yourself to go to college, but you have to maximize that time no matter who is paying for it. If you're paying for it, you definitely have to maximize that time. Even if somebody's giving you a full ride, maximize that time while you're there. Do everything. Yes, you have to take advantage of of what it is that you choose to do. So don't choose to go to work and then not get the pay that you want, and then regret it and act like somebody else did it to you. You chose that route. You chose not to further your knowledge. You chose to go this route. But we don't believe, as black people especially, we don't believe in the a lot of us don't believe in the education system, and it's seeped down to our young people with the added societal trend of it's not a good return on investment, right? Yeah. But it's still a good return on investment for us because we get the opportunity to develop outside of, because society want to give you the lowest level job and act like you getting paid a lot.
Janitor.
Custodian, right?
Custodian, because I stated that I didn't go to college because I didn't want to pay for it, or I didn't want to pay for something for failure. And that was my mindset. Over the years, I've kind of changed my mind. I still haven't went to college, but if the opportunity presents itself, like if I obviously a lot of people are gonna coincide with this, but if you had a chance to relive certain aspects of your life,
certain time periods,
you would probably change your decision to see how it turns out.
how do you think it would change? So say you did just took the advice of that person and was like, all right, I'll just do it no matter what I'm thinking, going against all the things in your heart. What would that look like?
Well, I think that I would probably be. I would pray that I would be better off financially. Mentally is you can be poor and successful, but you have to have that mentality. A lot of people, if there's a detour or an obstacle, then that's it. For me, I think if I would have chose a different path, I would have a different mindset. Now, would that change the directory of the people that I associated with? Probably so. I probably wouldn't meet a lot of people that I've met over my life simply because of different path. Or I could meet them just at a different level. And I cherish everybody that I know and get to interact with because, as you get old or older, you understand the simplicities of life. And for me, the simplicities of life was, just being able to go to McDonald's. I'll use McDonald's as an example because it's cheap. And some people think that is a wonderful thing. It is.
Wingstop these days.
Wingstop then. We'll use Wingstop because Wingstop is fire, let me tell you. And
I'll be having to get this dude into restaurants. Like, let's go to restaurant.
Yeah, we do that.
Yeah.
We call them adventures. So you'll find out a lot of lingo that I like to. It's just code. Like if like a hater, I'm not around haters, but if a hater's around, well, what is that? An adventure? And then they might think it's something different. It's not. It's something simple. And that's what I want the youth. I want people that's coming into the world and a part of the world. I want them to try and find the simplicities of life. Just like this man is trying to help you through life and goals and achieve things to be a better you. Because if this podcast changes the trajectory of your life.
Trajectory.
Yeah.
Trajectory.
Yeah. See? Education. See? High school. But I know big words.
It
changes the trajectory of your life by simply just listen to some words or just that makes sense. Like
take it in. You ain't got to use it right off the bat, but like understand your surrounding and your circumstances so that you can apply the message when it's an appropriate time. So
right.
that's what it is. And my mission once I graduated high school was to change the trajectory of my family. That's how I know that word because I was like,
and that's a very, very powerful word. That it's powerful. A lot of things that you think or may even take for granted, it's powerful. Can change your life. I graduated high school. I was sleeping in. Not going to work. Did that for maybe a year. year and a half. I wanted to be on vacation. And then I went to a branch of the military, which was the Army, and that was a nice trip. That was a good vacation, 2 week trip. Because I had some medical things to happen, so I was disqualified. But a lot of people in my family, most of the people in my family, especially older generations of my family, are a part of the military. And back in the day of their heyday, that was an option in order for you to be successful ahead of just, going to a plant. Probably my uncles and grandmas and grandpas, they had military plant or, doing something. But whatever it did, you committed to it. That's where commitment to excellence comes from. I know it's a statement that the Raiders use, but I employ that in my life, just like this man employs working hard and being successful and not going to quit. And all that is a mindset that you can project on the others, and you might not even have to project it. You can just be that person. I met this man in the gym, okay? And he had all the stuff. He had the mindset at the gym. So he executed at the gym. And then we started hanging out outside the gym. And that was the lifestyle. That's what you want. You want whatever people are projecting, you want that to be reality. Now, I'm not saying that the people on Facebook or Instagram, that's not their reality, but it is entertainment. And we're not trying to entertain you. We're trying to help you.
But this may not be entertaining,
and
we may not be even able to put it in entertaining form. Which is crazy. Is what I've been thinking about a lot lately. Is that, like, I don't know how to make success entertaining. Like, it's a whole bunch of monotony. For the past 22 years, I've been just grinding in multiple fashions.
You haven't feel like it was entertaining.
No. I had fun because, like, I was maximizing the moment. I enjoyed the process. I think that's where really work hard comes from, is that, like, I'm enjoying the process of working hard because I know the benefits to me and the people around me. Just my ethos attracts good people. It attracts bad people too, but we know how to decipher who's good and who should stay and who shouldn't. Yeah. So like, I'm fortunate enough that, like, not just CJ, but the main 5 dudes in my life, like, they all married, got kids, or taking care of their kids.
I almost got married.
but I'm fortunate that I picked some good friends, for long-term friends, and to see them grow and to see them do their own thing is really, I'm really happy to see it. Yeah. Now I want to see it for myself.
Yeah.
And now y'all seeing the process of me taking control of the rest of my destiny. For the past 22 years, I'm grinding for other people. Now I'm grinding for myself. And CJ, because we're gonna transition to a port. It's probably gonna be somewhere warm, because we're gonna do it all.
It won't be in Kansas City. No, it gets cold here. He had freezing rain. We couldn't even drive anywhere today.
Nah. You feel me? It might be somewhere overseas, somewhere where it's warm all the time. That's where I'm looking. But that transition is. There's nothing else for me to do in these jobs. Like I'm pushing papers, I'm helping, but not in a bigger way. Yeah. So I had to transition and make my own trajectory again,
Yeah.
reinvent myself. No Diddy.
No baby oil either. None of that. But you know, that's his trajectory. My trajectory is that, you know, I don't know. I feel like I make a difference in my job. I try and give people information, even though they may not want it. I don't force the information on you. I give you options because, you know, not everybody gets options, and if options are presented to me, I feel better about my decisions because options. But if you
Wealthy people have options. Poor people don't, pretty much. You can be wealthy without having money. You can have options. I tell my students that all the time. You got options if you put in the work now. And then if you decide to not do it or not, now that you're in control and not somebody else telling you what to do. That's the difference between putting in work and not putting in work.
Yeah.
If you don't want to put in work, somebody gonna tell you what to do. If you put in work, you can be like, all right, you telling me what to do, but I can go here and do something that is beneficial for me and not just beneficial for my pocket and you.
Yeah, and sometimes in life, you do need people to tell you what to do or to guide you or express what they would do if they were in your shoes.
And you still make a decision based off of what you know, what they know, and then the circumstances that you're in. So you're not just taking our advice and just saying it's law. It's what I need to do. It's, hey, I'm gonna sit here and analyze this because I have time to analyze it. I can go back in my wheelhouse and say, all right, this is what this person was thinking in this position. So how did it turn out for them? How could it turn out for me? And how does it normally turn out for most people?
Yeah. and you see the basics of what he just said. Now I'm gonna be honest. I have friends, and sometimes they ask me for my advice. And if you know me in real life, and you've ever thought about even asking me about advice, I'm going to give you advice that I would do, and by the end of our conversation, I'm going to say the words I just said. Now, this is what I would do if I was in that situation. Now, it may not pertain to you this way because we all got different mindsets. So my mindset might not joust with your mindset. Your mindset might be on easy mode. And, you know, you ask me some questions or ask me for my advice. I let you know, right, that this is something that I would do if I was in your shoes. Obviously, I'm not. So it's not law. I'm not going to get upset if you decide to do something else because just like information that was bestowed upon me that I took the time to listen to and people took the time to tell me about, it still happens to this day. I still get information. I get information from this man. I get information from the next man. I get information from my auntie in North Carolina, information from my cousin in North Carolina, my younger cousins. You know, I'm still learning. And that's what people fail to realize is you just because you get a certain age, you're not an old dog.
Yeah, you got continuous learning.
You can still learn some new tricks, and it's better to learn them than to be forced.
And it's better to seek it out than to have it happen and then have to smack you in the face.
You don't want that
because that's the good thing about books, and that's what in 2013 changed my whole trajectory. Is like I was feeling these things, I was seeing these things, I was in these things, and all of these books that I was reading was like the breadcrumbs leading me to the answers that I needed
Yeah.
for whatever reason, and that's how I took it early in the early days. Now I just if somebody mentioned a book and I just pull that mug up, I read it all the way through. You may only get one nugget of information that is helpful out of that book, but I'll guarantee you something else is going trigger. That's why
Manifest.
the academics they speak they have a lot of knowledge and they can pull from these different knowledges. You can have Jim Rohn said formal education will make you a living, self-education will make you a fortune. So but we as black people especially, we need formal education too. That we need some type of structure.
We need 360 education.
Yeah, we 200 years behind in the wealth gap. And if you look at 200 years, 200 years ago, what did this world look like? That's crazy.
Well, I mean, yeah, 200 years ago, you had. I don't know if it's in books, but I did read about it back a long time ago. We had our damn near old state, whole city in Tulsa. They got burned down.
And that wasn't even 200 years ago.
That wasn't.
So, I'm talking about 200 years ago. This is if this is 2025, 200 years ago is 1825.
Different times. different
Way different times. So imagine us being stuck in 1825 and everybody else is in 2025. Not everybody else, but the people with the most wealth in our country.
I would hope that there would be a podium for somebody like we're trying to do now. I'm not saying that, this is going to be successful because there are successful people behind it. And it could be for you, it cannot be for you. It's not going to matter. You'll be able to take something away from every podcast that we have. Because as you saw on our first podcast, we're all over the place. But it's informational. It's not, sports. We could talk about sports like we did. But it's stuff that you probably are not going to readily get told. A long time ago, because you guys know who Snoop is. Snoop came out with an album called "The Game Is to Be Sold, Not to Be Told," and that was a wildly successful album, but that wasn't necessarily the message on the album. See, you have to see messages in messages. So if you're committed to excellence, you can think that's the Raiders. You can think that that's a mindset. It's anything you want it to be, as long as you understand your way of understanding what it is. I talked to you about McDonald's and all that other stuff. All these people are successful, but they did not wake up successful. They had to work.
The least common multiple, the least common denominator is work.
You can't get around it.
You cannot get around it. If you try to get around it, you're gonna be deficient in some aspect, and you're not reaching your fullest potential. Put in the work. Go directly towards the work. Don't be afraid of the work. To be honest, I was afraid of the extra work that I had to do this. Like, I know, like, I'm already thinking about, like, I got to go and edit and add some stuff and trim the footage, all of that stuff. Upload it. Take a certain amount of time to upload. That's work.
But this can turn into some sort of production for you, which is another avenue.
Mm-hmm.
So as we're doing this, we're creating more. Now, as we just said, you can't get around work. So It's going to take some work. It's going to take some effort, and you have to want to be a part of the effort. I mean, you can't just sit at home twiddling your thumbs expecting a handout. That doesn't work anymore.
Keep talking, because what if we didn't record all of this? Go ahead.
Oh, I don't know, but
Nah, it's still recording.
yeah,
We good.
we're successful. Well, it's a lot of things in life right now is a mindset and how you perceive things. Like I said before, it's all about your foundation and who you are around. And I know a lot of successful men. I know a lot of successful women. I know a lot of successful young adults. And how they became who they became is because they were molded. As I stated before,
What do you mean molded? Like they had a mentor or somebody guiding them? Or,
yeah.
okay.
You had a mentor, somebody guiding them. I have mentors. I have people I look up to. They probably don't even think I look up to them, but I do. I'm not a hater, so I do. I'm a congratulator. The opposite. Um, and I just, I appreciate who I appreciate, and I want to, if I can in any way, help them be more successful. So I don't have to be a part of anything to be supportive. And this is something that me and Mike have talked about. Obviously, he's been doing this long. This is my first time on here. But he mentioned about in the summertime. It is now winter time, but it's happening.
But I've been mentioning it for like years anyway, and he was always on board. Like, I was like, we gonna get to it. We gonna get around to it this time.
It takes time. It takes time, and we're motivated. We're here to help. Hopefully, this will develop to where you guys can ask us questions. Or
we can go live. We can go live on all of this stuff.
It'll just be amazing for you. It'll be amazing for us to be able to pass stuff on, because I don't have any children. I have nieces and nephews and cousins and little cousins that's having babies, so I'll be able to pass things on. But as far as me having my own little tribe, no, I do not. I don't have that. I surround myself with other people that have tribes and influence them, or just tell them things that somebody didn't tell me. Like, hey, you're doing good. Oh, you don't have to try harder. Just you can tweak it. Nothing ever negative, especially when it comes to the babies. Because I grew up, so Wu-Tang was for the children. And a lot of different avenues that was for me that maybe don't exist for you guys. Maybe you guys are under a different era, but this podcast will be successful. It will be informational. It will be somewhat entertaining, somewhat serious, because there's going to be some serious subjects. We never know what the world is going to bring us. And hopefully you become fans and tune in, and we can give our gifts of knowledge, and especially this young man right here with the educational part. We can spread it and put it in people's grasp that just because you were taught a certain thing doesn't mean it has to be that way. You can change it. You can add your little spin on it. That's what I was telling you. If you ever ask me advice in real life, I'm going to tell you at the end of our conversation that it's something that I would do, and you make the best decision for yourself, because my word is not law. I'm not a part of any police force per se. But meeting guys like Mike that have ideas that actually want to help. It's refreshing, first of all, because he could be success and be successful and not share how he got it, not share his struggles at all. You can just see the finished product like you see most of the time. And that kind of upsets me, but I understand. Because some people may not want you to be as successful as them. Some people don't want you to be better than them. And they will choose to hold you back or hold within the information to help you garner success, to help you be the best. And that's what we want for you. If you get anything from this podcast, we want you to be the best you can be. At the lowest rate of disappointment, because there is disappointment out there. There is deterrent, and there's discriminaries. All that. Yeah. Sometimes it could be worse than what we grew up with, or 10 times worse in this era because of the different people that are interacting. You guys have the world at your fingertips, just with your phone, your $2,000 phone. I got a $2,000 phone. It's just old. But success is what you make it, and you have to take advantage of it. It is not given. It's
earned.
It is something that you will have to work for, and if you earn it, then that is a feeling that no one can take from you. No one can take away from this man's prowess of being in the educational system and learning the things he learned. For me, nobody can tell me how to look up parts. If I look up parts for a living, no, sir, you're not going to be able to do that. That's my job. So
yeah, it's
different worlds, but it's on the same.
I'm glad
plan.
We got we're around the same age, and we can look at it from a different perspective. Yeah. And I see it from all perspectives anyway, because that's what I study formally in my self-education, like human nature, distractions, where people come from. I'm gonna listen to somebody that started out in a similar situation, but I also understand that somebody that didn't start out as low as I did does have knowledge that when I get to that point, which we see the gurus, quote unquote gurus online, they're to a point, but they're not teaching what comes before that to get there, and that's what I want to teach here. but we got to get. I want to get people to the guru. Yeah. Once you figure out what trajectory you want to go and the goal that you want, then you can kind of see, oh, I need to listen to this person a little bit more. Like I have a the Goat Mountain is what Kobe called it. I got the Goat Mountain. So my mentors aren't necessarily, just because of my personality type, they aren't necessarily the people that I can touch and give me personal information. Yeah. These are the people that I mean, just because of my personality, I just need the information. Give me some nuggets of information that I can put it together. That's how I operate. So my Goat Mountain is like Gary Vee, Eric Thomas, Michael Jordan, David Goggins. It was Elon Musk. But I mean, we can get into the Elon Musk story because I think it's you can see the parallels in success and work ethic that got him to a position to where he's able to do the things that he wants to do, which is ultimately the goal of successful people. Is like, I wanna make my own moves and affect the world. His world is a little bit bigger than ours because he got a little bit more power, but
that's apparent
right, but he had to put himself in that position. So I'm gonna leave Elon Musk on there because, like, I understand the story behind it.
Yeah.
Whether he started at a higher level or whether he worked through some difficult times to get to where he is, he ultimately had to put in the work to get where he is now, to understand himself enough to be able to run all of these companies, be the founder of the companies. You have to do something. Like, there's something behind that. And people are like, is he a person you look up to now? And I'm like, I mean, to an extent, but like, I'm not emotionally invested in that man's personal life. Like, but I could see where he came from and the line of work that he had to do to get to a point. And like, just with anybody, if somebody else, like even with Diddy, like, you can look at his what he did.
Very determined.
Yeah, he was very determined and
started. He's like, what is that? He was an intern for Uptown, made some connections, and he worked his way up, and then he had his own label, and then he was.
Even before that, we really want to look into I really want to look into the very beginning. So even before that, he made a conscious decision based off the work that he was already doing. So he was in college going to whatever HBCU he was going to, but he was putting on these parties, right? He was putting on the parties. They were successful parties. He was like, "Oh, I can get into the music business. I'm gonna go intern." Internship was free, but he was still putting on the parties. He still had a name, and he was getting whatever money he was to put him in a better position. So he made a decision to quit college and pursue this route. It was ultimately better for him to do that and not to just stay in college. Ultimately, and no matter what, like, we have to disconnect the personal life from the professional life that we know. You know what I mean? Because we can't really judge what that person is doing behind the scenes throughout what we see,
and that's his own personal business.
Yeah.
For me, you come out and you want to dance and come out with new names every 3 months. You do whatever you want to do, brother. I think that over time, and I think that's why this is coming out about him. But over time, as we have gravitated towards new and better, there's a lot of things that has happened. As we stated earlier, Jesse Jackson running for president and having to bow out because something from his past he didn't want anybody to know popped up. Or it might have been exploited. Who knows? I can't remember. So I'm not going to lie. But as far as that goes, whatever you do in your personal life is what you want to do. As long as you have consent or whatever it takes to achieve what you want to achieve, because I don't know what it takes right now. I'm on vacation.
But success, the number one rule for success, and I have it in my book, Work Smarter and Work Harder, the Work Hard philosophy for individual achievement. Yeah. Shameless plug. No, it's not shameless. But the number one rule in success is you can't hinder anybody else's success on purpose. So what that means is that, like, the way you interact with other people cannot hinder their success. Did he hinder somebody else's success all throughout his career, just by the way he acted or whatever in his private life? if it hinders, if you hitting on a woman or whatever, that's hindering that's putting them at a lower level, ultimately hindering them reaching their fullest potential, just by the interaction with you. And we are all in this human interaction together. We're here at a specific time and place, and we don't know what's next in the next life. So the people we interact with, it has to be in a positive manner, or this life is not going to be nice to you later on in your life when all the stuff come out. And you really want to be successful, you really want to keep going until your 60s, 70s, and 80s, like so. You got to do it right by other people.
God willing. So to piggyback on what he said, I've gone as far as to if I come across people that I felt like I did wrong, whether they knew it or not, I would apologize, because I'm a different person now. I'm not trying to, apologize my way into heaven. The things I did. But, and just because you apologize doesn't necessarily mean that it is going to be accepted by that individual or individuals. But for me, realizing what I did and, kind of agreeing that it was kind of maybe disrespectful or messed up in any kind of way, I'm trying to not leave people with a bad taste in their mouth. Like, I don't want people to think about me and be like, oh, that's not nice. Can I determine that with people? No. Because, you could see me on this podcast and be like, Raiders fan. Whatever tickles your fancy is what tickles your fancy. Now, is it going to make me lose sleep at night? Absolutely not. Because I'm a people pleaser to a point. I'm not gonna overly do things. I learned not to do that. I did that a lot when I was young, and it worked out, and then it didn't work out. But that's a different lesson for a different podcast.
We long-winded on this one.
This is our inaugural.
So
the next one may be short and sweet and right to the point, like a PowerPoint. You never know. You never know what you'll get. Just tune in and learn something. And whatever you do, try and take something away from every interaction that we have, because you can read a whole book, as my man Mike said, and get a couple of nuggets. It could be a big ass book, but you have to come away with something. And I'm sorry for cursing. Sometimes I do that. It's my second language. I like to cuss.
And the reason why we're doing this podcast is because I read all the books for you, like, and what I come to understand is that the young people that I'm around in my professional aspect is that we need you to stay in the time that you are in. I need you to stay in your books that you need to read, but I'm going to give you the tips that everybody, the books are telling you without you even having to read the books.
Like a summary.
Yeah, a summary.
Sure.
But it's gonna be specific to your circumstances, because that's how deep I done got it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Mastery, the book Mastery that's a 20-hour long audio book. I done read that book like 3 or 4 times.
Commitment.
But now I understand some things. Every time I read that book, I get something out of it. But I can give you that information in the form that you need it at the time that you need it as a young person. And then you don't even have to know that it came from that book.
See that?
That's how deep I done got it. And
Knowledge transferred.
yeah, and like I said, I gotta get this information out. It's not, I can't keep it in no more. Like I'm twiddling my thumbs at my job.
See, the world is yours. We're trying to give you the best that we have because I feel like it's not enough. It's not guys like us around anymore. I know that I'm just in my 40s, but growing up the way I grew up, there was a certain standard for men and women, and I feel like over time it has depreciated. It's sad. It doesn't affect everybody. Like I said, I know people that have great, great foundations. Even if they were to fail, it was still a success because even if you fail, you're successful because you tried. Now, how bad you fail, that's to be determined. But the fact that you're willing to step out on faith and try something takes more courage than just trying to do trends or do what everybody else is doing. That's not for you. This is not a podcast for let's be cookie cutter people.
Yeah,
it's not that podcast.
If you're looking for passive income at 20 years old, like this is not for you.
Your passive income is your job.
Right now, and your education, your knowledge, expanding your knowledge base. Maybe that's what I need to start calling it. Expanding your knowledge base instead of education, because education is a bad word nowadays. But expanding your knowledge base is what we all need to do in understanding this thing called life, because we stay in our little silo of what we do on a daily basis, and we can get lost in that, and then our emotions are swayed back and forth by the climate of society and what society thinks about whatever the topic is. And you can search every single topic in the world on all the platforms, because I dig deep into different things, and but I still have an ultimate goal. So if you understand your goal, and if you want to understand other people, and you're mature enough to listen to the information without being triggered by whatever they say, to get an understanding from it. That's why I want to do this podcast too, because I'm not triggered by some of the ism stuff that is going around. I'm just listening to the information because I understand that person has a perspective. I want to understand that perspective. So when I encounter other people with that perspective, I understand, oh, this is where they're coming from. I'm not trying to get them to, I'm not trying to debate it. I'm trying to discuss it to get further understanding, but those people are rare these days. Everybody's debating. Debating is different than discussing. Debating is trying to get somebody to come to your side, agree with you or disagree with you or whatever. We just discussing these things, and I have a certain perspective, but you will come to see where people's perspective is based off of their intimate interactions with the other. So no, that's a mouthful, but that's what it is. If I come to you and you only have a certain knowledge of playing basketball, and I done played in college. you see what I'm saying? There's totally different levels. Your intimate interaction with basketball is limited. So your perspective,
street ball players.
your perspective is
never organized.
You see what I'm saying? So, that's how I analyze people. Like I'll talk to all kind of people, and I unconsciously do it, but I'm understanding whatever the topic is. What is this person's level of knowledge? Their knowledge base, based off of their intimate interaction with whatever it is that we're talking about. Because people will tell you their opinion and act like they are fully knowledgeable about whatever they're talking about, and I'm like, okay, but I'm up here looking at them like, okay, but
you're serious, aren't you?
yeah, like especially when it comes to race, especially when it comes to mostly race is where I see it, because in our society, white people don't have a lot of intimate interactions with us or the minorities, right?
No.
And I work with a lot of teachers that their intimate interactions, and I categorize it like this. You have peers, like you would not be my peer in basketball knowledge wise, right? No. So you would be kind of like, I would probably be an authority figure to you in that aspect, right?
You lay it up like this.
but that's what I so I had, if as a teacher, if I'm dealing with a certain population of a student, whether it's poor, rich, or whatever, and that's who I'm dealing with as an authority figure in their lives, and I don't know anybody that is at my level, peer-wise, or above my level, then all of my information, intimate information, not just statistics or anything like that, is coming from the interactions that I have with people that are in a lower level than I am. Yes. And you don't know the whole spectrum. What'd you say?
So yes, non-ballers.
Non-ballers. You know what I'm saying? So when I look at teachers and I'm like, okay, well, I'm your peer. We make the same amount of money. But you don't know anybody that makes more than you either. So your intermittent interactions are shifted to these people that are in your authority, under your authority.
Yeah.
And they may be poor, they may be black, white, Hispanic, whatever they are. You're getting your information from somebody that is not even at your age level. and so when somebody from up here, above their peer level, tells them something that is contrary to what they already know, they don't believe it. But they don't even recognize that person understands this demographic to an extent that you don't. Because they understand the whole process of being that demographic.
Yeah.
And that's where I'll be like, all right, I mean, we saying the same stuff, but execution is different.
Execution is different.
Because I can demand more for my students than the white people can, because like I understand that that
you can portray what you need to portray to, create that bridge of learning and knowledge.
And keep that standard high, because we want to lower it. Especially if we have a affinity towards nurture, because most teachers are women. The nurturing aspect of a woman is nurturing. That's their human nature. So I want to make it easier for you because I want to see you be successful. But I can't hold you to a standard if I keep lowering it, because I want to make it easier for you.
Yeah, and I like what you just said, and I feel that there's a lot of people that do that. For instance, you played sports in any aspect, either you won or you lost. Now, between my childhood and adulthood, they inserted that everybody was included and you got a participation ribbon. Well, you don't need a ribbon to participate. You have memories of you participating, and you can either be on a winning team or a losing team. Now, in high school, well, almost all your educational life, you are supposed to gravitate to something that you want to be in life. For some people, sports people, you can go to college, play that collegiately, and hopefully get introduced to the pros and get paid to do what you want to do.
But that's only 1%. So let's keep going. Keep
very,
going.
very
Very
little
few.
percent. But the other end of that is that, as he was stating before, you can find a demographic or people that are willing to listen and take advice, and you can kind of trickle it down to them, like a river of success or a river of knowledge. And it's there, and obviously not everybody's going to take heed because life is full of decisions. But the people that do take heed, the people that do, say, hey, I like where you're going with this and I want to get on board. Those are the people that are going to support you. Those are the people that if even if they take a little piece of your nugget of knowledge and then put their spin on it, you're still a part of that. Because without your little nugget, they wouldn't have been able to spin it off. And that's why I was saying earlier, there's a lot of things that I don't necessarily agree with, but I can't do anything about it. It's not like I'm going to start having babies and trying to change the world with my clan. But if I can reach people through this mode, or if he can change somebody's life through this mode, or, if he speaks, this man's an author, so, he can have book signings and you could read the book. It could change your life. There's a lot of things in life that can change your trajectory simply because, and I said it right this time, simply because of the mode of mindset that you're in. When I was younger, I didn't want to be broke anymore because I had a girlfriend I was living off of, and I lived with my mom. And one day I looked in the mirror and I said, no more. I got me a job, and then eventually I got me a car. Eventually I got my own spot. And beautiful things in a small capacity because I was just worried about myself. Now, you guys, I feel like a lot of you guys are not guided. Like, you don't have an OG as what we would call, or an older YN, whatever. But you can't get through life without somebody at least trying to give you some sort of knowledge. And not all knowledge is welcome, obviously. And some knowledge is interpreted sometimes wrong, misleading. And that's unfortunate. But, if you have that mindset to where that's your goal, that's the things that you want to do. I don't have any children. So if I can help people be better in life or make better decisions, I'm fine with it. That could be my legacy.
We about to make it your legacy. Like
I'm fine with it as well as my favorite color is red. I'm all on board. I want to always be all the way up. I want to be committed to excellence, and there was a time where I used to put a quote on Facebook almost every morning, and I just stopped. For some reason, I just like,
I'll be the only one that like that month. That's why.
I mean, it wasn't because he was the only one. But
It's positive reinforcement. At some point in time, you need somebody to reward you for your work.
No, not all knowledge it falls on ears that are receiving. You know, I know pastors that preach, and sometimes the word gets to people, and they have the Holy Ghost or whatever the case may be. But a message is a message within a message. And if you wanted to pick the message or you want to decipher the message, pick it down, figure out what you can get from it, then that's fine, because that's what information is. We was talking about libraries. Now you can write on your book, download it right there. You ain't gotta go nowhere. You never have to leave your house if you don't want to. And I never thought I was going to experience that, but I experienced that a couple years ago. Everybody experienced it. Staying at home.
Oh, yeah.
Reduced work level. I'm going to work 3 days a week. Getting half my check. Yeah. It was rough. I never thought I'd experience it. But, the people before me experienced the depression. It's all kinds of stuff. You just look up history. It's all kinds of things that
the Great Recession too.
People went through that you'd be like, dang.
How did they survive?
Making whole meals and saving the juice. I've heard that from adults and elders in my own family. So yeah, right now we probably got it pretty good. Technology and generational things. You got people that come up with ideas and take advantage of it and put those into fruition. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to inspire people out there, young, old, indifferent. There's no age limit on this podcast, because you're never too young to learn.
Right. And success is a process. People started at what KFC dude started in his 50s or whatever. Yeah. You start somewhere, but it's the same. It's the same. What is that? The formula. Yeah. The formula is work. That's all I know. Like if you want to take control of your life, you gotta put in work. That's all I know. And it's not the only thing, because people are like, work smarter, not harder, and those are people that are well off. Because getting the bag is hard in our aspect. Yeah.
You can't go to Walmart and pick it up. You gotta actually work for it.
Yeah, and you're gonna be better for it. Like, you're gonna get a bigger bag because
you applied yourself. That's what a lot of people don't do these days. They don't apply themselves because they don't know how to apply themselves. They don't have anybody encouraging them to apply themselves. So they get stuck in a rut, which is good and bad. I've watched people develop over time. And whether they like it or not, they're not in the same place that they were when I first met them. They're in a better place because their mentality took them to levels that they didn't even perceive them to be, because the mindset they had starting out. Now their mindset is unstoppable. Now their mindset is success. You work hard, you work smart, you do all the things you need to do, and you will get rewarded. Now, whether you share those rewards, it's totally up to you. I am not an enforcer of anybody in life. I am a supporter. I will support you if it's something I can get behind. As we're doing this podcast now, this was, well, now you feel like 5+ years.
Yeah.
So 5+ years. It happens. It takes time. Takes effort. As we have effort, we have a nice setup here. And
it's
who
gonna
knows?
look a little bit better because I know he's gonna bring some MF Doom stuff, and you can put it back there. I think that we're gonna change the position.
Well, yeah. MF Doom, I discovered that guy like maybe 3 or 4 years ago. Didn't even know he existed.
He likes some interesting music. We can make that into a segment too.
You gotta be. I feel that the more knowledge I have of music, the more further I can get in different genres with different people, because then they'll feel more comfortable. Oh, you know this? Yeah. So I know a young lady that asked me if I knew who Kendrick Lamar was today. I thought that was hilarious, but she was asking because she met someone and they only knew his hit single "They're Not Like Us" this past year, and I said, no, I know Kendrick from Good Kid, Mad City, because I remember going to several different Best Buys all over Kansas City and Blue Springs and everywhere for 3 weeks trying to get that damn album, and I finally got it. But now, guess what? Spotify, I can just stream it. That's what she said. She said, I don't have to deal with that. I just stream it. I'm like, oh, well, see, technology.
Even on this,
technology and everything is what you make of it. And
yeah, you can either use it to distract you or use it to inform you.
To enhance you.
Enhance. Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So.
He knows some big words.
I do. I told you.
Man, let's end this. This has been like 2 hours, man.
It really has?
Yes.
Wow. I didn't know that.
We started at 7:45 or something like that.
It is now 4. Oh, shit.
I've been trying to cut it short for a long time.
Well, my bad.
He's like, we can keep going.
We'll save some rest.
Yeah, we're gonna keep it a happy medium. Hopefully that we can get some stuff, some current event stuff, and talk about that.
Society is going to provide that for us.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Get ready for that. Jesus.
Yeah. So we're going to have it. Yeah, let's end it right here because right. That's going to be a long upload. And I'm uploading all of it. I mean, I might upload it in chunks, though. Yeah, I was